In the world of language learning, there's a lot of debate regarding subtitles. Are they harmful? Are they helpful? When should you use them? There's so many different opinions floating around. So, after looking into the research on subtitle use in language acquisition and using my experience of 1,000 plus hours learning Korean through K content, I'm gonna lay it all out for you. Let's get started. Before we get too caught up in the details, I just want to say that so many people studying languages, they spend far too much time focused on strategies rather than just practicing the language. While the aim of this video is to help people learn language and improve their strategy, just don't forget that anything is better than nothing. Keep going day by day, 1% better each time, and you'll reach your goals eventually. So let's start at the beginner level. Research shows that for true beginners, using L2 subtitles or target language subtitles is almost no different from using no subtitles at all. At this stage, the learner is unable to read fast enough to keep up with the audio. If you don't know the words anyways, seeing them and hearing them at the same time is not going to change the fact that you don't know them. So trying to watch with L2 subtitles when you're not ready can actually hinder your language acquisition because it distracts you away from things that you could understand. You may put too much effort into reading the subtitles that you actually don't even listen to the audio in the first place. Actually, research shows that for beginners, using L1 subtitles or native language subtitles has many benefits. As a beginner, there's so much information coming at you that you don't know, and if it's at native level speed, it may as well be at light speed. So L1 subtitles act as a crutch to keep the beginner engaged with the content and reduces their cognitive load. While this is a good start, ultimately it's not optimal and it relies far too much on L1 or someone's native language. When I was still a beginner in Korean, I used to watch one of my favorite shows of all time, Running Man, with English subtitles. By doing this, I certainly did become more familiar with the language, and I could catch a phrase or two in the chaotic conversations, but ultimately if I wanted to become fluent, I had to stop relying on L1 subtitles. If there is an L1 subtitle, it's most likely that we're just going to read that and ignore the L2 audio. In an ideal world, beginners using L1 subtitles will only look down to catch their bearings every once in a while, but we all know that's not what happens. Even now as an advanced learner, if for some reason I'm watching Korean content and there's English subtitles, I can't help but read them. So it's my recommendation that you push through this stage as fast as possible and stop relying on L1 subtitles. If you watched my video on how to learn Korean with K-dramas, then you know that I suggest learning basic grammar and vocabulary and jumping straight into content with L2 subtitles. It can feel difficult and overwhelming at times, but learning a language is difficult. So really, you just have to find fun methods that you can do every day to make it to the other side of fluency. Speaking of which, if you made it to the intermediate level, then it's time to bite the bullet and go 100% immersion with L2 subtitles and audio. At this level, you still have many difficulties with the language. You do have a basic understanding of fundamental grammar, common vocabulary, and you should be familiar with the sounds of the language. That's all you need to start. And that's why research shows that from intermediate learners, watching content with L2 audio and L2 subtitles is significantly more effective than L1 subtitles or no subtitles at all. The L2 subtitles paired with L2 audio, it adds an extra layer of redundancy by adding oral and written stimuli simultaneously. This process helps with something called speech segmentation, which is the ability to identify individual words in a continuous stream of speech. In essence, your ability to break a sentence down into comprehensible chunks gets better and better the more exposure you have to L2 subtitles at this stage. To be fluent in a language, you need to be able to parse apart sentences as they come at you. Keep in mind as well, the intermediate level is notorious for being arduous and long. But once you break out of it, you'll have the rest of your life to be a fluent speaker of that language. So just get as much exposure as you can, trust the process, you will get through it. Finally, what role do subtitles play at the advanced level? Surprisingly, L2 subtitles, or target language subtitles, have the greatest impact for advanced learners. Even at the highest level, the dual reinforcement of audio and text, it makes recall more reliable and it allows learners to digest more complex content. For example, advanced learners might already have high reading proficiency and a large vocabulary, but they can still struggle with things like speed, accents, or the idiomatic nature of natural speech. L2 subtitles help advanced learners bridge these gaps and make complex content more studyable, in that they're able to catch things that they might have otherwise missed. Although just like in their native language, as they reach near native fluency, they reach the redundancy threshold, and the necessity for subtitles disappears. At this point, the learner can understand almost everything 100%, so really there's no point in having subtitles. Right now in Korean, I fall under the advanced category, although I'm nowhere near native fluency. I often do watch content that doesn't have subtitles, but I still prefer if there are L2 subtitles. For me, seeing how a new word is spelled helps me later when I want to use it. It also just gives me additional information in my brain to remember the word by. Additionally, the research research also shows that watching L1 content or native content with L2 subtitles can help you grow your vocabulary. Although I can't really imagine that it's just better than watching L2 content. So I'm going to use an analogy to help visualize the whole process of subtitles. Imagine understanding your target language is like catching a ball. At the beginning, the ball is going way too fast and you're just not going to catch it. Using L1 subtitles or native subtitles is like someone gently handing you the ball and putting it in your hand instead of you having to catch it. You got the ball, you can see how it feels, you can see how heavy it is, what the texture is, but you didn't catch it yourself. So after a brief period of testing out the ball, you decide to try and catch it again. To bring it back to language, you try to watch unassisted L2 content again. Going straight into this is exceedingly difficult. So you put on a glove to increase the surface area of your hand, effectively making it easier to catch the ball. L2 subs are like the glove. You still have to catch the ball yourself, but you're getting help from the glove. And to bring it back to language, you still have to understand the content yourself, but you're getting help from extra information. Every time you catch the ball on your own, you get better and better. So the analogy kind of falls apart at the advanced level because even professional athletes use gloves, but I mean, they probably could catch the ball without the glove. Language learning is the same. As an advanced learner, if you choose to, you can watch L2 content without subtitles. Though, as we saw from the research, unless you're near native level, advanced learners see the most benefit when they use the metaphorical glove of L2 subtitles. Hopefully you found this video useful. I got the idea for this video after some conversations on my language learning Discord. Right now it's small, like me and one other person small, but someday I hope to make it a community for anyone learning any language. If you like this kind of content, check out my video where I take the concepts from the best-selling book Atomic Habits and apply them to language learning. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.